Please subscribe.
In the event that the most recent couple of years felt like the year of the small crossover stuck on rehash, 2019 is quickly turning out to be the year of the three-row SUV. An invasion of new sheet metal wearing well-known names is beginning to hit vendors. In addition to there's a lot of promising new models entering the family-disapproved of fight. Boss among them. This 2020 Hyundai Palisade. And keeping in mind that cutting-edge vehicles, for example, the Ford Explorer and Toyota Highlander may have more grounded name acknowledgement, in case you're looking for another kinschlepper, this unmistakable-looking hybrid should particularly be close to the highest point of your thought rundown. Before you ask, truly, the Hyundai Palisade shares auxiliary and powertrain underthings with the Kia Telluride, a model additionally hitting showrooms as you read this. Notwithstanding being corporate cousins that offer inconspicuous bits and heaps of keen tech, these SUVs look totally changed, and they really feel like they're focusing on various purchasers, as well. While Kia's Telluride is attractive in a progressively upstanding, conventional form, the Palisade's originators haven't played it even the slightest bit safe. In all honesty, I've discovered that this present vehicle's crocodile-peered toward front end takes some becoming accustomed to, much the same as my response to other late Hyundai SUVs, from the Santa Fe to the Kona. As those different models have multiplied, nonetheless, I've discovered I've immediately become accustomed to their unordinary grille shapes and novel split, stacked front-end lighting. Truth be told, I'm beginning to truly appreciate seeing them in the city. I expect a similar will be valid for the Palisade quite expeditiously, and I even began to welcome the manner in which this model looks as my 7-day stretch of testing went on. That affection with nature thing likely isn't on the grounds that the Palisade gets simpler on the eyes the more you take in its subtleties and generally speaking shape. This is on the grounds that this vehicle is so well built and flawlessly structured that it prevails upon you with the manner in which it fits into your feverish family life. Furthermore, in full pontoon limited trim, Palisade is sumptuous enough to turn Hyundai's still SUV-less Genesis vendors green with jealousy. Promising bundle. First off, you should realize that notwithstanding being delegated a medium size, the 2020 Palisade is huge. Greater than any Hyundai before it, including the active Santa Fe XL, just as the fleeting Veracruz you're most likely must Google to recollect. The Palisade rides on another stage, and its size pits it against Porsche stalwarts, for example, the Explorer and Highlander, just as the Honda Pilot, Volkswagen Atlas and Subaru Ascent. Note, it's as yet a decent 7 inches shorter than the Leviathan Chevrolet Traverse. If you're comfortable with the Santa Fe XL, realize this new Palisade is apparently beefier in each measurement. It rides on a 4-inch longer wheelbase and ranges 3 inches longer generally. It stands 2.4 inches taller and it's an astounding 3.6 inches more extensive. Despite whether you're thinking about the base, front-wheel drive Palisade say, $31,550 in addition to $1,045 conveyance, or the first-rate, limited with track all-wheel drive, $46,400 in addition to conveyance. Control comes solely from a 3.8-liter normally suctioned V6 matched to an 8-speed programmed, an association yielding 291 strength and 262 pound-feet of torque. On the off chance that this case and powertrain blend have a characterizing trademark, its smoothness. The Palisade's capacity conveyance is unsurprising and unfussy, with a defeatable stop-begin framework working inconspicuously enough that you may very well leave it on. More connoisseur than competitor all things considered, regardless of what drive mode setting you select, this is anything but an energetic hybrid in either deed or aura. But since 3-push SUVs capacity like 21 Street Century minivans off again on again, you're most likely more worried about maintaining a strategic distance from sippy cup spills than corner cutting ability or 0 to multiple times. So, I gauge the last to be around 7.5 seconds. and it's conceivable to dial up sprightlier throttle reactions, firmer transmission movements and heftier guiding feel when sport is chosen. In addition, in contrast to Kia's Telluride, the Palisade is accessible with or shifters for expanded manual control, valuable on downhill evaluations for calling motor braking or getting ready for a brisk pass. My $47,605 as conveyed limited arrived outfitted with discretionary AWD, $1,700, a framework equipped for steering up to half of accessible torque to the back wheels. As my drive occurred midsummer, I unfortunately didn't get the opportunity to evaluate this present framework's exhibition in cold conditions, or notwithstanding during a decent storm, yet it worked inconspicuously and submissively consistently. Mileage is entirely aggressive yet in addition absolutely unremarkable for the class, with EPA appraisals calling for 19 miles for every gallon city, 26 interstate and 22 consolidated for FWD models. AWD models like my limited rundown at 19 city, 24 throughway and 21 joined, and dependent on my testing, these figures appear to be achievable. At any rate for the occasion, there's no half-breed alternative to improve eco-friendliness like the Highlander and Explorer offer. Skilled hauler while it's no rock-solid apparatus, the 2020 Hyundai Palisade pulls up with solid towing numbers for this class. A standard transmission cooler, electronic influence control and trailer wiring implies you'll simply require a decent hitch and a trailer with inherent brakes to tow 5,000 pounds. Restricted models like this one-component auto-leveling back air suspension, another decent element when burden hauling. The Palisade additionally accompanies barely short of 8 creeps of ground freedom, however it's no wilderness romper. You'll be fine for the flame trails prompting Cub Scout campgrounds, insidious tempests and anything rural life can toss at you, yet on the off chance that you need greater ability, you're going to need a body-on-outline vehicle. Remind me to educate you regarding the time my co-driver stranded a pre-production Palisade up to its axles in sand simply outside Seoul. Killer Lodge 3 push hybrids are tied in with conveying limit and comfort, and the Palisade conveys just as anything in its portion. All seats convey great room, even the third column, which has simple one-contact get-to and a tolerably measured gap that even permits full-size grown-ups to climb back there. Seating is offered in setups for 7 or 8 individuals, and on account of the tip-top limited model seen here, those seats are canvassed in luxuriously knitted Napa calf skin. Both the front and second push seats highlight warming and cooling. The second push seats are especially pleasant on the grounds that they're raised for better forward perceivability, and the rooftop-mounted vac channels include cunning wide scattering conduits to check awkwardly coordinate wind stream. In contrast to the Telluride, the Hyundai highlights a by-wire push-button shifter. I will in general find such things gimmicky, inclining toward the instinct of conventional PR and EL gear shifts, yet the Palisade's unit is definitely not an awful execution of this kind of selector. It takes into account an enormous void under the coasting focus reassured to suit totes and tissue boxes. Actually, there's huge amounts of extra room to be found in the Palisade, alongside a gathering of cup holders, USB ports, counting some shrewdly mounted ones in the seatbacks for second push tenants, etc. On the off chance that I have a noteworthy objection about the Lodge, it's the fundamental cup holders. They highlight a spring-stacked retractable support that can be collapsed off the beaten path for more cubby space. That is extraordinary on a basic level. However, these cup holders are non-adjustable and not appallingly pleasing of various estimated refreshments. Nitpicking? Maybe. Be that as it may, in a vehicle that is about family disapproved of accommodation, it's an irritating and not a material plan flub that adversaries manage without. Other missing highlights incorporate an accessible Wi-Fi hotspot and backseat diversion, in spite of the fact that nowadays, tablets are less expensive, increasingly flexible and less inclined to out-of-date quality. premium goals something else, the Palisade offers a commendable lodge that is stacked with class-above materials, particularly in limited trims, which additionally get such amenities as a micro-suede main event encompassing a double-component moonroof, Harman Kardon premium sound, a power-collapsing third column, a class irregularity, and an extraordinary head-up showcase. The single greatest update might go from lower-end models' 8-inch infotainment touchscreens to this 10.25-inch widescreen. All Palisade head units are instinctive and highlight standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto coordination, yet the bigger presentation is more pleasant and accompanies two-source Bluetooth, in addition to a reconfigurable, completely advanced check bunch. I'd venture to such an extreme as to propose that in this high-content limited trim, the Palisade feels just as premium as any Acura RDX, Buick Enclave, Infiniti QX60 or Lexus RX 350 liters, and it highlights more astute and simpler to utilize lodge tech than every one of them. Indeed, even in its most costly pretense, the Palisade isn't simply worth the cash, it verges on being an authentic deal. There's additionally a decent measure of freight space on offer. One of the cardinal sins of numerous 3-push hybrids is that when each seat is consumed, there's no space for whatever else. The old Santa Fe XL was blameworthy of this, however Hyundai obviously took in the mistake of its ways. The Palisade conveys a helpful 18 cubic feet of capacity behind the third column, and there's more than 45 cubic feet with the waybacks collapsed. Flop the second push seats down, and you have more than 86 3D shapes accessible. Security first, second and third, as you'd expect with a family-disapproved vehicle, the Palisade is pressed a phalanx of security highlights. BCA, RCCA, ROA, LKA, DA, CHTA, ABS, Escape, TCS, BA, VSM, TPMS, SRS. With OCS, there's a bigger number of shortenings on the Palisade spec sheet than I have the space or persistence to clarify. Obviously, even base same models accompany forward crash cautioning, programmed crisis braking with person-on-foot location, auto high pillars, versatile voyage control, path keep help and back-stopping sensors. The Palisade is accessible with a bunch of other propelled driver help frameworks, as well.